Um, my abortion story. So I told my mom. She told me that essentially she didn't think that I was ready. Long story short, I went and had a conversation with my boyfriend. He was very supportive, but I decided not to go through with the pregnancy for many reasons. The biggest was just because I was scared, and I didn't I didn't know what else to do in that moment to make myself feel better, because I felt like I had no support system. My mom essentially told me, nah. I didn't tell the rest of my family because I wasn't ready for that yet. I was 19 in my second year of college. And yeah, I wasn't ready. And I felt like because my mother's reaction wasn't positive, that nobody's reaction was going to be positive. And so I decided to terminate the pregnancy. Partially because I'm scared. The other part is because I felt like, I'm a sophomore, I'm at a big university, Big Ten university, and I have a whole life to live, and maybe I should live that without children. But at the same time, I think I was more sure about having the baby than I was about not. And I did most of my decision making very quickly. Not long after having that conversation with my mom, and then having the conversation with my boyfriend, and then that turning into a blowout and him telling me do whatever I want because it's my body. That was interesting. I made an appointment to go to an abortion clinic, and when it came time for that moment, I actually ended up leaving all forms of my identification, so I couldn't go through with the first appointment. And in that appointment, I would have had my mom there, I would have had my boyfriend there, I would have had somebody. Yeah. So that fell through, and then I ended up making an appointment at Planned Parenthood for the next week in the Lansing area, because I just felt like I needed to get it over with to stop the problems and the stressors that were revolving around me being pregnant. So I made that other appointment, and I went, and we did a screening and an ultrasound, and I heard the heartbeat, and the doctor told me that I was actually 8 going on 9 weeks pregnant, and yeah, and I was just in the perfect window for a medical abortion, and this is hard, but it's necessary. So that day we went through a screening, and they asked me a bunch of questions, making sure that I wasn't coerced into doing this, that this was all of my free will, and that I was making this choice, and that I'm okay with that choice. And now looking back, I think I shut down, and I knew I wasn't forced. I knew this was my choice. I knew consciously that, like, me deciding to do this ultimately doesn't rest on the shoulders of other people. I had to say yes multiple times, but I think I also just shut down, and I removed myself emotionally, from that whole experience in Planned Parenthood. Um, they did all the things they needed to do, and then the lady gave me a pill, and then she told me I had to take that one there in front of her. Then she gave me a bottle with 2 more pills, and she told me to take those when I got home. Home was a dorm room. So, yeah, so now I'm gonna get into the abortion experience. If you don't want to watch this, I suggest you just stop here. But, yeah, so after I got home, I went to try. It wasn't home; it was a dorm. I attend Michigan State University, so I was in Snyder Phillips dorms, and I went to go to the cafeteria to get some soup because I was feeling queasy and anxious and sad. And then I actually ended up having like a whole conversation with somebody and sitting down eating that soup. Then I was feeling really, really, really sick, and like it wasn't getting any better. So I put the tray return, and right when I was about to reach the bathroom, I caught my throw up in my hand. I'm sorry if that's graphic, but a lot of this about to get graphic. And yeah, that was embarrassing because I was literally like 10 steps away from the bathroom, so that was gross. And I ended up emptying everything out of my stomach, and that was before I took the other 2 pills. So I was freaking out because I threw up in public, and I was also freaking out because now I'm in a public bathroom and I gotta clean the public bathroom after I done threw up all over everything. And then I was also freaking out because they tell you that if you did throw up in a certain time frame, that you'd have to take the first pill again, and the abortion wouldn't be complete until then. Luckily I wasn't within that time frame. Luckily, wow. I wasn't in the time frame where I would have to take that pill again. I was out of the window already, and so what I ended up doing is I went into my room, and the cramping started, and it was really painful. And then I decided to make things a little more comfortable for myself because I knew it was going to be a long night and I was going to be in a lot of pain. And I also knew that I was going to be by myself because I did it on a day when my boyfriend couldn't come up, so he couldn't even really be there and be a support system. He was there after, and I appreciate that. But yeah, so I essentially got my bed ready and got myself in the shower and got myself comfortable, and my friends came over unexpectedly, so right when I was about to take those last 2 pills. That didn't happen. My friends came over and we were talking and stuff, and the cramping was starting to get worse. It was starting to get worse, but it was still manageable at that time. And then eventually they left. They had no idea that I was deciding to go through with the abortion that day. After they left, I took the 2 pills like they instructed me to do, and I distracted myself as much as possible. I will, full disclosure, say that I got high as shit that day. Beautiful thing about cartridges, probably shouldn't do that on campus, but your bitch was having an abortion, so there was that. And then eventually I went to sleep. When I woke up in excruciating pain and in a I essentially woke up in a puddle of my own blood because in that time where I was asleep, I had been cramping the whole time and I didn't know, and I didn't have anything on because I didn't know that that was going to happen in my sleep. So I had to rush myself to the bathroom, which was around the corner. Mind you, I was cramping. I couldn't even stand up straight. There was one point where I remember waking up before this, hungry, and I had to ask my friend to get me an apple from the calf. He had no idea what was going on, and I thank him so much because he saved me that day. You more than you know. And yeah, so I dragged myself to the bathroom and I kind of cleaned things up, and then I went back to my room, stripped my bed. Some of this I'm like, I don't even know how I did this. I went back to my room, I stripped my bed, and then I gathered my things because I lived, Snyder Phillips is a dorm that has community style bathrooms, so my bathroom wasn't conveniently in my room, so I had to gather my things and figure out a way to get myself back into the bathroom. And so I put all my things for a shower and stuff on the counter, and I went into the bathroom stall, and things started to get extremely bad, and I threw up again, and then I sat on the toilet and I felt the need to push. And after a couple minutes, okay. This part's always really hard to think about. After sitting on the toilet, I essentially gave birth. I passed the what we would call an embryo, or the fetus, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I felt it, like I caught it, and yeah, that was that. I cried, and then I flushed it. Yeah. So now that the abortion is done, I'm still cramping. I got up, I got in the shower, I washed everything. I washed my body, I washed my hair. I think I stayed in there for like an hour, and I cried, and I asked for forgiveness because I immediately knew that I regretted my decision. But there's no going back. Even though I regret my decision, I still believe in pro-choice. I think that I made such a rash and harsh decision in such a quick time frame. Like, literally, turnaround time was a week, maybe a week and a half, from the time that I had a conversation with my mother to the conversation with my boyfriend to booking the first abortion appointment to missing that appointment to booking a second one and actually going through with it. Yeah, I think maybe if I sat down and waited a little bit longer, I probably would have I would have had a baby by now. Let's just put it that way. But I didn't, and I think me finding out that I was almost 9 weeks along, and if you don't know, at 10 weeks, it's no longer, you can't get a medical abortion after 10 weeks, essentially. It would all be surgical from there, but I think that contributed to my decision as well. I felt like it was less painful, but it wasn't. It wasn't less painful. It was, I think, just as painful and just as traumatic, if not more traumatic. But I don't want to belittle anybody else's experience. I just want to share my own. That was the purpose of this. I really needed to get this off my chest. And whoever sees this, sees it. If you don't, like, what you heard today. I don't know what to tell you. You could have stopped watching at any point, but if you did make it to this point in the video, thank you for listening to my story, and thank you for letting me share my truth. I know it's not linear, and it wasn't necessarily the most concise way to share this story, but I needed to get it out. I've been living with this for 2 years by myself, and I'm done. And to all the women who watch this video and have gone through this experience, and you're having similar feelings, know you'll be okay. It'll still be hard, and every day will feel like a battle for a while, but eventually you kind of just, you learn to live again. It'll be okay. Yeah. Thank you for watching.